Hey guys, we're back. Today we're coming at you with a few different cases for the iPad mini 7, and these are going to be full body protection cases, not just a folio. We'll have a folio video down the road, but for right now I want to focus on these three different brands with these three different price points. So let's get right into it. We have an ESR, we have a Tomtoc, and a Zugu. Not all these companies are your everyday brand that you hear about. ESR is coming up there, but the Tomtoc and the Zugu are right there behind it, at least with the iPads. They don't make anything for the iPhone, so that's why they're not as popular as the ESR. But I've shown off this ESR in a previous video, and I just love this case. So let's start off with this one. We'll put these to the side. And I mean, just a simple unboxing. I don't want to go over all the details with you in this video. You can check out my previous one for all the ESR lineups. And this is simply just a case, kind of like a phone. So there's no flap for the front, which I kind of dig. So just all around border protection. And then it also has this slick kickstand that can prop you up in multiple different angles. So 3 different angles. Well, this one, when it's set up like this, and say you have the iPad with the pencil on it, you can actually keep propping this back up to find the perfect viewing angle for you. Or vertically if you're doing a FaceTime call, and then even down like that. So a lot of different options on this case, and it's super duper light. This is 82 grams, so this is gonna be the lightest case that we take a look at today. And having this big metal kickstand on there, I thought it'd be heavier, but it's light as a feather. You don't really feel it at all. It does give the camera some nice protection as well. So you see that camera guard right there. And then cutouts for the speakers, the Touch ID button, as well as the volume up and down. Very responsive on this case. And there's, in the corner, there's, little air gaps right there for some edge protection. So if you do drop it, your corners should survive. And not much branding on this case as well, which I do like. I don't even know if you can pick that up, but it does say ESR right there. And that's it. So it's super minimal. Just says ESR and camera guard right there. So not much else to that. So for the people that don't like a lot of branding in their face, this is the perfect case for you. And you still get that iPad mini right there. So the kickstand doesn't cover that up. So it really just shows off your device. And this one is super cheap. This is $16.99. So this is the cheapest price point that we're going to see today in this video. And it does come in a couple different colors. There is a clear black as well as just a completely clear. This is the clear purple. So I have the purplish iPad. I wanted to kind of highlight that with the purple case. So this also has 4.6 stars on Amazon. So, it does have a lot of positive feedback online. And for me, as somebody who is not really going to use the pencil with this device, I like keeping it as just a media consumption device where I can just hold it in one hand. When you get the pencil on there, it's harder to just hold. I mean, you can always take the pencil off, but there's nowhere to then really hide it. So I love just using it like this. I don't necessarily need a flap on the front for this. It's so small that, I'm not worried about, really protecting the screen as much as I would say my iPad Pro. So perfect little case for me from ESR. Again, $16.99. Those other colors are the same price point. So I definitely think this is a go. So let's move on to the next one. Now here we have the Tomtoc. This is just called the Smart Folio Vertical Case. One thing that I do want to point out is all these cases, they were made for the last generation, the iPad Mini 6. And when I bought all of these, there was no mention of the iPad Mini 7 yet. Now, if you go on Amazon, this is all going to say this is for the iPad Mini 7. So there's not a real new design with any of these cases, but it doesn't really matter because they're the same size. So this one by Tomtoc is really great to me. Again, just, basic packaging, 3-year-old packaging really. But this is a 2-part case, and you can use it in 3 different modes. There's sketch mode, landscape mode, and portrait. So let's get this stuff out of the way. And like I said, it's a 2-part case. So let's get this in here. Just pops on in. And then magnetizes on there. So you can put your Apple Pencil on there. Now, one thing, this does give all-around protection, even though, you're seeing the side right here. It also comes with a detachable iPad or Apple Pencil cover. So it just magnetically sticks on here and flaps over. I already lost it, to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm not really going to use the pencil with this iPad too much. So it's just a single piece that you can remove. So once you do take it off, it's like, okay, you kind of just got to put it somewhere. So, sorry I don't have that to show you, but I'm not really using that. But for me, what I love about this is this whole back piece is a magnet. So you can stick this onto a fridge, you can stick it on a toolbox, wherever you want it. So you can mount this on the wall. There's been that talk of Apple coming out with a new home device that's iPad-like that you keep on the wall. If you already have this and you have this case, you can use it as that. So I think this is absolutely awesome. And then when you do want something that's, gonna cover you for your screen, if that's what you need, and give you a little more protection on the backing, then you have this flap, which also doubles as the stand. So it takes a little while to get used to, but to use this stand, you have to pop off the back, and this magnet will then attach to the back piece. So you can use that vertically. You can use this, again, you pop it off. There's a little slit right there that you can use to prop it up like that. So with the sketch mode, you can actually line up this right here with the flap, put it down like that. It doesn't necessarily magnetize in there. It almost kind of wants to, but there's not just a magnet on that side. And then you can just start writing. So it does give a little bit, but if you're actually writing and you're putting your hand on there, it's not a hindrance at all. So to me, it works just fine. One thing that I don't really like is this viewing angle where there's just too much movement for me right there. So what I like to do is when you have it in that vertical mode with the magnet attached, I just set it down like that. To me, it works perfectly. The magnets are secure, where when you're like this can move back and forth a little bit. So just use it like that. I think this is awesome. When you're going back and forth though, from here to there, I notice a lot of people saying this thing just pops off, but it's magnets and most of the magnet is off. So you have to just hold on to this little piece right here when you're taking it off and putting it back on. Awesome case to me. I love just using this without the flap, just grabbing it. You have edge protection, or actually corner protection on there. And this thing is so light with just a flap. Total, it is, it's 220 grams. I'll also throw on the screen here just what it weighs, just this cover, or just this back plate. Most of the magnets are in here, so it's probably still a little bit heavy, but it feels super light. You can attach it anywhere you want and still kind of just throw it in your pocket. But it's got a nice, I don't know, like felt feel to it. So I don't know, I think it's great. You got the Tomtoc branding there. Not a huge camera cutout right there, so it's not like great protection for your camera, but it's there. I mean, it sits flush. And then you got the corner pieces. So to me, this is the perfect case. This is my favorite case for the iPad mini, and this one comes in at $27.99. You only can get it in this black, and one thing that I have noticed on here is it's always sold out on Amazon and on their website. So it's hit or miss. Just if you find it on Amazon through the links below, just buy it. You can always return it if you don't like it, but if you wait, it'll be sold out and you'll have to wait for quite a while. That's what happened to me. I waited on it. It was sold out. I had to wait for it to come back in stock. So I would say pick this one up. $27.99 is a great price point to me. I'd like to see it in other colors, but you know, black is the most popular. Tomtoc, they do have other colors for their Pro iPads and iPad Airs, but they still don't give you that great of a variety. It's usually like a cream or a black. So, you know, if they came out with this in a white, maybe even a blue, something like that, or a purple to match, that would be excellent, but the black is good too. So that's the Tomtoc. Let's get into the next one. All right, guys, now here's the Zugu. This has been my favorite case for my iPads for ever since I got an iPad Pro 2018. I got the Zugu case for that. You know, my wife took over that iPad. She had it and still has it on there. She has the M1 now, and she loves that case. I love it. And here we go for the mini. So one thing that I want to point out is the packaging for the Zugu case to me is awesome. You have, you know, just a welcoming note from the owner, Tim Angel. Just says, thank you for choosing us, yada, yada, yada. They've been making cases since 2010, and that they're like a family-owned company. So they're a really small brand. They literally just make iPad cases, and they do them right. But on the back, you have just the different use cases, different designs, fridge mount direction, and kickstand direction. So then they already opened it a little bit, but you have just a nice little sticker on there with their logo and paper covering that has, you know, just the case printed all over it. So to me, this is like almost like opening up a new pair of shoes, like a new pair of Jordans, when they have the special packaging. Not all of them do, but that's what I love about this case is right when you get it, you're like, okay, I'm getting something really nice here. So that's the box. Not everybody cares about that kind of stuff, but I do. So this is a very familiar design. Some say it could use an upgrade, a refresh, because this Zugu case has been like this ever since the first one I got. So let's pop it open. Let's not eat those. You have a nice microfiber backing with the Zugu logo, as well as these cutouts. That is meant to disperse heat. So again, if anybody knows about the Jordan Mellow 2s, it's kind of got that same vibe to it. But anyhow, let's stick that in there. And you have just good edge protection all the way around this device. Your screen's not going to break with this thing on. So you have a few different options. You have a huge cutout for that pencil. Sticks right in there. And then you can also just slide it in the back. So I love that feature. You know, if you're traveling, throwing this in a bag, your pencil is always going to be super secure. It already is in this thing just because that cutout is so big. But again, there's people that aren't going to want to use the pencil. They're not going to like that too much because it does make the case a little bit bigger. But if you do use that pencil, it in that groove, it still makes it pretty one-handed. So I'm not going to use the pencil too much with this, like I've said countless times, but in this case, it's still comfortable if you do have it in there. And there's plenty of spots to put it if you don't want it there. And then we have the Touch ID button, perfect cutout for that. It's got a nice groove, so your finger just sits perfectly flush in there, which I love. That's probably the best cutout that I've seen. You got the speaker grills, and then volume up and down, and then a huge cutout for the USB-C, and again, those other speaker grills. So the way that this case works is you have these grooves up front. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different viewing angles that way. And then you have this flap up at the back with huge magnets on each side. So you can prop this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bam. So find the perfect viewing angle for you. It magnetizes right in. And then also you can flap this up. Keep these on there. And you can stick this to a fridge. It's not going anywhere. These magnets are super strong. If I didn't emphasize it enough with the Tomtoc, with just that back plate, super strong, sticks to a magnet or sticks to a fridge perfectly as well. These magnets are awesome. So they do make this case a little heavier. This one is 233 grams, so it is the heaviest out of all these, but because the mini is so small, you don't really feel that. To me, it doesn't make this feel like a bulkier item. It's, you know, super thin down, nice rounded corners on everything. The Zugu just fits perfectly in your hand, to be honest with you. So I would like a refresh, I feel like, just because I've had this case for years now on so many different iPads. ESR came out with that Zugu lookalike for their iPad Pros. It wasn't really refined. The materials weren't great. This is like a nice PU leather that just feels super smooth. And that ESR one, they had a couple tricks where you can take the back piece off and, you know, kind of elevate it a little bit. But, you know, this one doesn't. It's just a one-piece construction. So some people do like that. They don't want to be, you know, losing a piece on there because it detaches. You know, I get that too. But the drawback of the Zugu case, not everything's perfect here. This is the most expensive case. So this one is $49.99. It does go on sale from time to time. We just missed those Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. It went down to $39.99. But that's just for the black color. They also have a slate blue and a berry purple, and those are $10 more. Those are $59.99. So pretty expensive compared to all the other cases that we've looked at, but this is a super premium case, and it does give you that peace of mind that if your iPad does break in here, they will pay for your deductible, which is like $50, I think. So take that with a grain of salt. Keep that in mind. But these are my favorite cases for the iPad mini, the Zugu, the ESR with the kickstand, and my absolute favorite is the Tomtoc, just because it's got that versatility of just using it with this piece and sticking it anywhere. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have you checked out any of these? Do you have any other ones that you prefer that you want me to take a look at? If so, let me know. I'll check them out and we'll do a video on them. So thanks for sticking with me. If you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, please hit like, hit subscribe. We're a small channel just trying to grow. And until the next one, it's Buck Life. Peace.